thought you were supposed to say something.
No, you're supposed to say something.
I'm playing. You know I'm supposed to know. All right. So, hey, welcome to another episode of the At Ease podcast. My guest today is Warrant Officer Kells Morton from Chicago, Illinois. Joined the Navy back in July 2000. 24 years in the Navy right now with an IT background. Right now, she's serving in the war room. But hey, thanks for coming through.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
Of course, you got Sue Sutter. Sue been to jail, y'all. I'm tripping. But and my dog, of course, AP. You know, dude that keep me on game and keep me in the loop and making me move and do stuff that I guess I said I was going to do.
I try.
So love it, my brother. I voted today. So hopefully this podcast comes out before the election because just me being there was good. People being there, people voting. But I go back to some things to talk about when serving with people. You know, we serve with different branches, different people, different races, different genders. Don't make a difference. If we get a liking to that person, we understand that person. We like, oh, that person cool. We do this and we do that. But then when you go out to find like somebody's not voting for the same person that you voting for, you feel like, well, do you judge them? Like their morals, you know, depending on who they vote for. You know, so some people get in their feelings. Social media is like blows up with stuff. My guy, Uncle Famous, he let it be known he voting for Kamala Harris, you know, but nobody judges him for that. You know, another friend of ours that served on the Nassau, he was an E.T. Thompson. Something like that. He's a Trump guy. So whenever you see Famous talking about some stuff, he really going at that guy because they know each other. But other people feel a certain way about, honestly, like people voting for Trump. And some people are like, well, you take it or leave it. That's just who I am. But why are we judging them? Because they a Trump supporter. Or they could be this a Republican, a diehard Republican. It doesn't make a difference who the candidate is.
Right.
But most people judge them.
Well, you want me to tell you why?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, you judge them because you think to yourself, at least from a woman's perspective, what kind of person are you that you would vote for someone that would treat women the way that he's treated women? Right. This is not, politics aside, I'm just talking about his character, the way that he's treated women. So yeah, I do find myself being judgmental because I can't, the things that he said. So like if you're black or brown and or a woman,
right,
that's a problem for me. Like, so you don't recognize his character. Like I get it, politics. I understand. You can be a Republican if you want to be a Republican.
Right.
I don't care about that, right? If it was somebody whose character was upstanding, right? And so that's really the problem for me. It's not necessarily Trump per se. It's just it's just his character. I mean, like the way that he talks about people in general. And I'm telling you, if he gets elected, I honestly think chaos will ensue.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I
So for those people that we serve with and you see them, you like, well, at the time you thought that like, well, they cool. I can hang out. Or you hung out with them. You done things with them. Whether drink a beer, sat in the mess together, the war room, whatever it may be. Like you felt like, oh wow, they good people. But now you feel a certain way because they vote that way?
I do feel a certain way. And I only feel a certain way because of that, right? Like politics aside and policy aside. Let me just go policy aside. I think that a lot of people a lot of people that are Trump supporters or Republicans like to go to the policy. But, he doesn't even understand the policy. We're talking about somebody who cannot even communicate what he's going to be doing, his plan or his rollout. Like he can't communicate these things. The only thing that he can communicate is just a bunch of inappropriate conversation.
Right.
That's that's it.
Well,
this guy is not. That's my problem.
That's your problem.
And if it was, let's say it was me and you, and let's say you were a Trump supporter, I would be like, are you kidding me right now?
Right.
You know
right,
what I'm
right,
saying? Like,
yeah.
I don't think I would judge you based on that, but I definitely would have that
But you
conversation.
know me though.
So,
But you know me for a long time.
But see, what I think it is just that, not to make it about Trump or whoever or whatever,
Right.
but, it's just like, when we see someone siding with someone or supporting someone that we necessarily don't, and even if we know them, we think that, okay, it's something about them that I don't know. It's something that I'm not tracking.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because something is drawing them to this way the same way something
Right.
is drawing you to the
Yeah, I
opposite
mean, at
direction.
some point,
So
you
you
have
just
to
like,
be
yo, who is this person? You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like you said, how can they align with their values? But again, I've seen it kind of divide some people, or like, I thought I knew this person, but maybe I don't know.
But you
him
serve
like I
with them,
thought.
like alongside with them.
Well, I have we got like a lot of people at work, and I'm in a cubicle, and everybody, no matter the demographic, are all Trump supporters, and they've made that known. So I kind of stay tight-lipped about it of who my choice is, because obviously it's opposite of them, and I try not to judge because of my upbringing, because my family's very diverse.
Okay.
However, you can't help but to internally, but I feel like based on how this country was supposed to be founded, that's what makes us free, right? The fact that we have the right to vote and choose who we want. So I kind of try to stay away from battling with them and see just the things that I like rock with them for, right? But not saying, oh, they're siding with that. Now, however, women's right to choose, Roe versus Wade, that's a big issue for for the
this
other
day
side.
and time. This
for the other side, right?
You talking about that right now, this day and time.
Correct.
Yes.
And dealing with a young pregnancy, I was a teenager and got pregnant, and I had a choice. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that I had that choice changed my life. Because if I would have had a baby, I wouldn't be here, sitting here. So that's why I said, like, those things are important. So I want to see where their mindset is at, but I also want to keep it professional, so we don't lose that friendship, because we will.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that, but and I don't know if I keep it professional. I wouldn't say that I do. But
you're gonna speak your voice. That's
I
why.
do. So like before I retired, there was a guy that was in the he was a civilian. He was an older guy, and I definitely went toe to toe with him. But it didn't change our work environment.
Right.
So I guess we were able to have those conversations or be on opposite sides. I do. I guess I do, agree to disagree is fine, right? It's a fine thing, but I definitely, that's a question that I want to know. But when it came to Roe versus Wade, and he was trying to talk to me about stuff, and I was like, there's old white men who have never shit out any babies talking about what a woman can and can't do. Get the fuck out of here. You have no idea
what it feels like.
What sort of havoc pregnancy wreaks on a woman's body. Right. And then, just on the opposite end of that, I'm going to need you to not sit here and say we can't have women's choice. Women cannot choose to have an abortion, but we also don't want welfare.
Right.
So if I want to have an abortion because I can't afford a baby, and you're telling me you don't want to give me welfare,
right? It's your choice.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, something's got to give, sir. You have to pick a lane. You can't have all of it, because all of that doesn't go together.
That becomes a dangerous zone too.
Right.
Then you're gonna have these young girls out here trying to figure out how they can do it without
Right.
medical assistance and proper medical care, and then you're gonna have more people dying, and that's really the reality of it.
A black market for it.
Or you're just gonna start to have a whole lot of babies.
Yeah.
That's all it's gonna be out there.
Like
And the
babies having
population
babies.
is gonna be
It's
crazy.
growing the population.
Babies
Crazy.
having babies. I
It's
mean,
growing.
I have third graders who are already talking about little girls' butts. So we're talking about
In third grade.
8-year-olds.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna, if that goes away, that's huge. I think society is sexualized to the point that these younger kids are now exposed. Like, I don't think I was exposed to that kind of stuff.
Right.
So,
Because the internet.
That's it.
yeah,
That's
so
what
these
it
younger
is.
kids,
We didn't have
these younger
yeah.
kids are exposed, and so
Right.
you
you
take
need is a
away Roe versus
password.
Wade, and I
Right.
just can. It's going to be a lot of girls going by any means necessary, and then the other side of it is they're just going to have these babies, and either they're going to be giving these babies up, and now we've got like
Adoption rate crazy.
like adoption going crazy,
Right.
and the way our adoption system is set up in America, nobody can afford it.
Right.
It got
You talking about adopting a child,
got
and it's
nerve.
like a business now
20 grand.
to take care of a child.
Yeah.
So that's these like
I'm
the
capable
laws.
of taking a baby,
Yeah.
but why do I have to pay to take a baby if you've got all of these babies and they need a home, and I've got a home, and I've got love.
But you charging me an enormous amount of money
Just to
adopt a child.
That seems
y'all
like
got for free.
that seems like
That y'all got for free.
Oh, yeah,
that
I
seems
ain't
like
look at
human
it that way.
trafficking in the worst kind of way, is what it seems like to me. I mean,
It's
that's
a
what
business
it is.
of legal
it's human
trafficking.
trafficking, is it
is.
not? We're
Yeah, you just
selling
moving
babies.
one baby to another family
Yep.
and making money off them.
Yeah, making money. That's crazy.
Lots of
Wow.
It's crazy. But anyway.
Wow. But yeah, so that's just the the thing going back to the voting thing, like how we just judge others because depending on who they vote for. And you got to think every 4 years we go through the same process of dividing the country. The country divides every 4 years.
Yeah.
No matter your race, creed, color, religion, sex, you divide. And it's like it happens every 4 years and we know it. But we continue on just to kind of like live up to that moment. Like, oh, I got a problem with you now because you voting for whoever. Yeah. But shout out to my grandmother, rest in peace, because she actually used to make, her and another lady used to make the American flag for the presidents.
Oh, wow.
Out of Philly. Yeah, so it was like her and another lady, they had to do hand embroidery, and she said, my aunt told me today that Richard Nixon, the Republicans always wanted hand embroidery, like where the Democrats didn't really care. It'd be like a vinyl flag, but it was her and another lady that actually used to sew all the hand flags back in the day. So that's dope. But yeah, Kel, so you left Chicago, joined the Navy. Like, what was going on in your life at that moment to say, I'm going to the military and I'm going to the Navy?
Yeah. You ever heard of the Hot Mess Express?
Oh yeah, we all been through
That would be me. Yeah.
Oh,
I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
I really didn't have a plan. Like, what 18-year-old really has it together? You know what I'm saying? So I said, well, I know one thing for a fact. I don't want to be dead, right? And I don't want to have all these babies. I said, I got to get up out of here. So, going to, I was going to summer school. And this fine ass recruiter was like, hey, let me holler at you. I was like, hell yeah, let me go talk to him. He was like, you want to join the Navy? I said, oh, you ain't trying to take my number? Well, I'm trying to take your number, but
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He's like, you should just come holler at me, put you in the Navy. I just went because he was fine. Not saying like I really wanted the job. I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I was just trying to holler at this fine young gentleman specimen that was in front of me. So I showed up to the recruiting station, and
that was it.
That was it.
Yeah.
The most
Off of a dude the way he looked.
Yeah. You was looking for a relationship and he was looking for a quote.
He looking for a quota.
I ain't say no relationship. Now.
Okay.
Looking for companionship. Looking for
Companionship.
Friendship.
Hey, one of them ships.
One
of them ships. Yeah, and you end up on the ship at the end of the day.
Yeah. Ended up on the ship.
Wow, look at that.
That was the most longevity of a phone number that I ever had, because I ended up 24 years later, I'm still here. So I guess
You still here.
I guess it was
That's
a blessing
dope.
in disguise.
Yes,
That's
sir.
dope. Yeah. So how would you describe like your experience just being a female in the Navy? One, from the environment where you came from to where you at today. Like the experiences.
I just knew, like, I think it's definitely a change from, Chicago is definitely not the best place for a young lady, especially if you're a product of your environment, right? So I had a good family and stuff like that. We weren't well off or anything, but we just, I had a small family and I was like out of control, So I was like, well, let me see what I could do.
Right.
So when I came in the Navy in 2000, females, a lot has changed. Put it like that. I ended up on a small boy, the Kincaid.
Okay.
And I ain't know, an attaboy or, what I'm saying, like.
None of that Navy terminology.
I didn't know, like, somebody pat me on my butt. That wasn't okay. Those type of things was happening. So, like, the EO stuff, the EO policies were needed. Because at a young age, you don't know to say that's not okay because you don't want to be the tattletale or the snitch in the shop. Nobody want to go on liberty with you. So I didn't say nothing. You see things happening, fan rooms, and people don't discuss those type of things, but those things went on. So, and then, also, the sexism you kind of deal with, like, hey, they're showing all the males how to get qualified, signing their stuff off, and I'm like, hey, what y'all doing? Oh, don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's
wow.
Yeah. So you had to, like, kind of inject yourself just to get qualified. You kind of
now this is you talking about in the 2000s.
This is 2000, yeah.
But see, during that time, probably the leadership that was in place, they were still the old
regime
that wasn't used to
It
females
wasn't.
being out there. You know what I'm saying?
You kind of had to.
Right, you talking about really what 3 years?
No, 6.
Yeah,
6 years. 6 years.
93
That's still
is
new.
when they. 93 is when they started. But yeah, they were.
Ships.
But all the ships weren't outfitted. So I mean, you got to figure that.
Right. So you didn't have a lot. It took some time to build that up.
By the early 2000s, that's when you were really starting to get like a quantity of women in one place, and that quantity was.
And they probably the large amount probably went to the Bush. That probably was the carrier that they built right after.
Constellation too, which is.
But I'm talking about like a brand new carrier. Now I can be billeted.
I think it was the Bush.
Or the Stennis. I think the Stennis was because I know when I came in a few years prior to you, and I remember going into Norfolk, and I want to say like the Stennis was like the new carrier at that time. 'Cause I remember the Bush being made. I remember that one specifically, but I think the Stennis was like the new carrier out on the deck place at that particular time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But you kind of got to build like a alpha personality because I didn't start off like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To inject yourself in conversations and be kind of like Bogart your way in. So then that you can set yourself up for success because ain't nobody else going to do it for you. So yeah. So, I mean, but it ended up, you gain the respect of your peers, whether they male or female, once you get your quals and start working and doing good things. But it's hard. It was hard. So
it was.
Dang.
It was. I agree with you. It's the when you're in the it's the sizing you up for me. Be out there just sweepers. And they can't just walk past you. They gotta grab you,
or they gotta slide past,
slide, grab you. It's the size.
It was really.
And it's the kind of stuff that you don't. It's the kind of stuff
probably
that
not expecting because you at work.
No, just did not expecting because that's not how people treated me when I grew up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I wasn't used to that. This is all like new, rosy glasses on. Everything was good. My parents, grew up. Nobody's sitting at home doing that to you.
Right.
So.
I don't think that women know. Well, at least in my generation of women, and you're a little bit behind me, but our generation of women, we weren't told that there was an order of things, like how I've told my daughters.
Okay.
There's an order of things, and you need to go in kicking the door down. Like I've given them sort of that the framework,
right? Groundwork,
you know what I mean?
to work off of.
To function in a place like that. Hey, I'm really, I kind of went to the extreme side, right? I became a little bit more masculine or hard. So, I've always tried to impress upon them how to do it without being
so
like
masculine.
So and masculine is the only word that I can come up with, but you're absolutely right. Like we don't come in like this, do we? You know, I didn't come in like this. I mean,
okay.
I'm sure I came in. I mean, when I was younger, I mean, it's my personality. I'm definitely allowed, you know, fun and that kind of thing. But from kicking the door down, to like being very sort of.
But what's the military about though?
Making you confident.
Yeah, it's just because you have it in you. You have it in you. But when you get to that level at the age of 18, 20, 25 or whatever, it's a progress that you go through. And then you like, oh, I can run this.
Yeah, but
I can do this because y'all built me to do this. You talk about, especially on the flight deck or hangar bay or just being a bosun mate. You get put in leadership positions at a young age. So it's like, oh, wow, I was like that.
But it's different when you, I mean, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Like how it builds up your confidence and stuff like that. But women have to carry themselves as if they have male confidence. I guess I just don't know how to.
No.
Like it's
what you're saying is, so this take a female section leader.
I was.
You got to be boisterous, like
Right.
You got to be on that same level playing field as that man that's in that other sister section that you see like, oh, he got control of his duty section.
For the musters, you better have it together.
Because for one, it's like confidence is confidence regardless. But then I think for the female sailor or the female leader, you got to turn it up a notch.
Yeah.
So
You got to.
people know that. Not
I'm
to
here.
take you
Twice as much.
Yeah,
Twice
you know.
as much.
That's what I think too.
Yeah, you got
And
to.
I think that it's as you get older or as you become more competitive against male peers, they don't like that. You know what I mean? They don't like that. You know what I mean? It's just, it is a difference. It is a difference.
Yeah.
And it's just what
Maybe
it
because
is.
the male we got, as men, we got egos.
If a man is aggressive, that's okay. And for me, it's not.
Right.
You know? And so I
like you gotta have that confidence.
You got to have, right. You got to have
I don't know you, but I imagine. Because I think that there's very few women that have made it successfully without being docile. Like the docile woman is not.
So it's okay for a woman to be aggressive.
It has to be.
It has to be.
Because if I was not aggressive, then I wouldn't have been promoted this way.
Right. We have to fight for ourselves.
You can't just be like, like, oh, she just got there because she cute.
Right.
Or she just got there because sleeping her way to the top.
Right.
That's also the stigma too.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
So,
that's definitely.
Yeah, that's everywhere.
But
stop playing.
But go in my record. Go on
and see my work.
Yeah.
See my work.
See them evals. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
the aggressiveness that I had to put in.
Pull up.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is the ships. Stop playing with me.
Yeah.
That's the way I used to look at it. Like,
and then people, so
like you've got
sea time, for Ike.
Yeah.
Kincaid.
Yeah.
So, so.
It ain't easy out there.
It's not. It's not.
It ain't easy out there.
That last tour on the Ford, look, that hip and that back.
Yeah.
You don't know how old you get until you start sleeping that rack again.
You go to the ladder wells and everything, right?
Them ladder wells.
I was thinking the other day,
there was a couple times where I was like, dang, I ain't falling down this ladder.
Let me tell you. You ever just think about how many scuttles you had to go through, that everything was secure, that you had to unlock, climb through?
Down.
It's the three.
Do you ever just think about how many you had to do? Now, y'all been on it a whole lot longer than that in ships than me, but...
I was thinking about, did you do 3M inspections like I used to have to do? I did a lot of 3M inspections because I was the 3MTT on Truman.
So I didn't do 3MTT, but I did I had cyber on the Ike, and then I was a combo on the Ford. So definitely had to make sure my boys was good because we got antennas and all the
so things. You're going up.
You talking about you going down, but them below decks.
Y'all better stop playing. So they put me. I can't even remember the name of it because they called it something, but it was like a scuttle that, and you had to be on the ladder the whole way.
I know what you're talking
and
about.
It was this big.
Yeah, that's how we gotta go down the magazines. That's how we go down the magazines.
Listen, first off, there was definitely a lot of fat people. Like
And they're
what
fatter
fat
now.
person
They get
is
down
going
there.
They're
down
fatter
this?
now.
They get
So
down there.
I was like, but I
And
think
you know people race down them ladders. Like,
yes.
see how fat the fastest one to the bottom?
So they're staying. It's just a what
Just
is it?
big enough for you to get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
That's
big enough
it.
to get for
Like
you
a
to down, and it
long
was
scuttle.
really far down, and I had to inspect it. When I tell you I went 2 down, and I seen all the little kids just standing on the little ledge, it's like this big.
Oh, yeah, hang
I
out
looked
there.
at them, I said, "Y'all got all outstanding." I ain't coming back down.
Y'all, I know y'all did carriers,
stay
right?
Yes.
So like going up to the mid arm yard or upper arm yard, we have to take
no.
Right.
those same type of. And I had a panic attack because
Yeah.
I wasn't used to them heights.
Wow.
They was like, you're not going, because I was just I stayed.
Like working aloft. Can you imagine?
Because you're not used to them type of heights, and then it's just one ladder. You can't even see the
good.
bottom. You
I'm
can't
good
even
on
see
that.
where you're going.
I'm
Can you
good on
seriously
that.
imagine working aloft?
I'm good on that.
No, I'm good.
Some people like doing it. So my sailors, I never pushed anybody because there was ones that be like, I want to do it. So those are the ones that did the maintenance because I'm not going to say, push that person and then we end up with a safety incident.
Right,
so
right.
So the ones that want to go ahead.
I'm gonna put you down as 13-week log.
Yeah, exactly.
And they got it.
Schedule them
But then
already.
you put the one that's scared, and then something happens, then you ain't gonna be able to live with that. You know what I'm saying? So
Wow.
let the volunteers volunteer.
Right.
We went through some stuff and did some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking about them scuttles though. Like,
Yeah, I think about them all the time, and especially because I did a little bit of time in subland, like I was at
Yeah.
subland for a while,
yeah.
and when I tell you those nukes, those jokers are big as a mug. Like, sir, how are you moving
Listen,
on
the
this
PFA
sub?
standards are
Well,
no
they don't. The PFA standards don't necessarily apply, like because
They put a
because
lot of money into them
because
nukes.
they pay those
Yeah,
nukes
they,
so much
they
money
put a lot of money into
that
them nukes.
they can just do whatever.
right, that they can do
Yeah.
that whatever. But my thing was, how do you fit?
Hey,
How do you fit? Like,
unsolved mysteries.
that's crazy, right?
It's a lot of bell pepper backs. A lot of them.
I was like, I didn't know.
Wow. So, but again, you made it through doing what you're doing because everybody can't make warrant officer.
No.
Let me tell you that now. Everybody don't make chief. Everybody don't make officer. But you had to battle through and do what you had to do, and you learn a lot throughout that process. Like, hey, in order for me to compete with the best, I got to step my game up. So people may take that as being aggressive or whatever, but I'm just matching your energy too.
Right.
I'm getting there. So throughout your time in the 24 years, like, what was one of your proudest moments that you had?
So the putting on my anchors was, that was the first marker, and I was like, you see all these influential people in your life that are chiefs and a lot of the mentorship that went on, and I'm like, I can stand with my shoulders back because I done made it. The Hot Mess Express is in khakis now. You know what I'm saying? and then having those people there at the ceremony and at final night, those guys were, that's why I wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? And then my son, able to witness that. You know what I'm saying? So, and then when I transitioned to warrant. Right, that commissioning, having my son there, almost an adult, and he's able to put my, my shoulder boards on. It was just, you can't, he came with me the whole way,
right?
And you
from the beginning,
you work hard for these kids,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we talk about
the
that all the
husband
time.
cool, that's cool,
yeah. But the kids,
these kids,
That's what we do it for.
That's what we do it for. So. You can't take that away because he's dealt with just as much of stuff as I have, and now we're here.
Right.
Separation.
Yeah. It's both of us. We've
we're here.
been on this journey together.
Yeah.
So that was the proud moment,
Okay.
Grandparents, everybody just watching. You know what I'm saying? And you just feel that because this took a whole little village to get to this point. So
Right.
So the transition, right? Because you picked up chief in 2013, and then you got commissioned in 21. So you spent a lot of time in the mess and the way the mess do business. And so you was well adapted to how that happens, right? But now, you know, you're crossing over to that war room and everything. So how was that transition and how different was it and how, you know, they do business compared to how, you know, chiefs do business?
So easy transition, hard adjustment. Because, because the chiefs are welcoming. You know, we got that sisterhood, brotherhood. I can go in the mess and chop it up, take care of business. War room, on the other hand, baby, they are not as welcoming. You have to build those relationships. You have to work on those type of relationships because it's just not that. You're not walking in like that.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And if you do, you might have a problem.
Okay.
Really?
Absolutely. So like the Mustangs, most of the Mustangs on the ship, we had a good relationship, but then you have to build those relationships with those officers that came in through, you know, college and it's a little different. It's a little different.
The
vibe.
age difference as well too.
Correct, because they're a lot younger.
Yeah,
they're a lot younger, and then you know they say, "Oh, how you end up with a 3-man stateroom?" Because my hip bad.
right.
Why.
Hey, I've been through some
I've been
scuttles.
here.
Yeah, I've been through some scuttles.
Yeah. But that you have to also treat them, you know, and train them because that's how they earn your respect too. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And the ones that you train when they like young ensigns, lieutenant JGs, when they become COs, they always remember that chief. You know, like I remember that chief
Or that warrant.
You know, they never forget those people.
Right.
You know, they never forget those people.
So what made you want to go warrant?
So real talk, I started FTS.
Okay.
So I was FTS first 16 years.
Oh,
and
that's where VR came from.
VR.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So I didn't feel like I was going to grow. And it's hard to be competitive as an FTS sailor to to go into the war room. Because I was like, okay, I know I want to get commissioned, but how do I do this? Because you can't, you know, compete with active duty sailors that are going to ships, that are serving at sea back to back. So I said, okay, well, I'm just going to have to bite the bullet and try to get on active duty.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said you always knew So when did you know you wanted to be in the war room? You said you always knew.
Early on, I wanted to do LDO, but then by the time I was able to maneuver, I was already too old.
Oh, past that.
Okay.
I was too old.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay.
So as a first class, you was like, yo, I want to be an officer. I want to go LDO.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was trying to do it then. They said, well, based on manning, you would have to take a reduction in rate if you go,
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I said reduction in rate. So, you're not going to get like busted down, but you got to go second and then make first again. And you can, you know, like that's if you go active, we're gonna put you back to E5 based on numbers because this is what we need right now.
Right. Needs in the Navy.
And I said, I know you fucking lying.
You're not going backwards. You're not going backwards.
Yeah, we can't. Yeah, no doubt.
So then I waited until I put khakis on and I asked the same question and it was yes because they needed chiefs at sea.
Okay.
So.
Oh,
gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then I switched over and I was at Riverine at the time and I went to the Ike.
Okay. Gotcha.
So
nice.
Yeah. So yeah. To answer your question about the transition, you have to build those relationships.
You have to build relationships.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to build those. That's important. It's eminent. It's prominent in that war room because if not, you're not gonna survive. You're not gonna survive. But as Camo, they was like, "Oh, telephone.
Oh, we
Hotline?
need you. Oh, we need you,
that.
man.
Everybody
Come
I was like,
on.
"Hey, Camo."
We need that.
Everybody is reaching out to you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Oh, you need something? Oh, do you need something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we at. Do you need something?
Cover-offs.
Yeah, man, come on.
But you know, you still build those relationships. You work, you know, combat and stand your watches and all that. So
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope.
That is.
Yeah. So, out of your journey, like, who was that chief and officer that you said, like, wow, this is who I want to grow up to be? Because I see how they move and I see what they're doing. Who's that chief and who's that officer?
So it's not just one.
Okay,
'Cause,
name
you know,
them.
like we have
Yeah,
like
name them.
we got a team. You know, to be an
Yeah,
all-star,
a village.
you
You
need
got
that
a village.
team,
Oh
right?
yeah, hey, trust me.
So
I know.
You know, I had some influence on the FTS side, and then active. You know, Sherrard Lewis, Carlos Gusby. Those were the ITCs. Those were my sponsors.
Okay.
Courtney Hosang. They was all my sponsors when I went through the season.
Right.
Trying to get it together, and then you know, in the wardroom, Aaron Gibson. He's in. Shout out to Aaron AP. Not Aaron. I know y'all got to. Same. I was thinking Aaron, but who else? Oh, and KJ, Kevin Jenkins.
Kevin Jenkins. Okay.
CWO3 retired.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
Heavy hitters.
yeah. So it was definitely a lot of hard talks.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. As it should though. As it should be.
That's what it
truthful
gotta be.
talks.
As it should be.
You know.
Right.
And then Joy Derry, she's a YNC. She's retired. She's in Jacksonville. She's the one that taught me how to be more feminine in my deliveries. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you ain't got to be like this. You still can get your point across, but you ain't got to do all that. So
Right.
she's like, "Hey, come here, young Patty Wan. Let me talk to you for a second."
Right.
So she polished
Right.
that, you know. But yeah, going into those, you know, if I forgot anything, charge it to my head. You know, if I forgot anybody.
It's a lot. We got a lot.
Yeah.
Especially when you come through those ranks.
Yeah.
At the E3, E4, E5, it's still some chiefs that you bump into. It's officers that you see like, oh, he or she was a good one. You know, so
Yeah.
it's plenty of them.
And it's a lot. It's
plenty
a
of
lot
them.
out here doing their things.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Nonstop.
That guy.
Yeah. He alright.
P, you know.
Yeah, he alright. Yeah.
JoJo.
Oh yeah.
JoJo killing it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's a lot of other Mustangs that I came up with. You know, we served together, and then we all, you know, are all in the war room now.
Together,
you know,
yeah.
that's a proud, you know, seeing where we came from. You know,
Right. How is like like when we was on the Ford, I see at the time, Admiral Meyer got us Wi-Fi. Listen, we in the shipyard with Wi-Fi.
Okay.
You talking about a happy moment?
Yeah.
It was
I
like,
met him too.
Oh yeah, he good. He good
is.
people. He good
He
people.
is.
And
Absolutely.
then when he left, the new CEO came in and took it away from us.
JJ, comments?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he shut that down. He shut that down. I mean, you talking about morale?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gone.
it was just like, and where the weapons office was at was right near ADP. So I always had a strong signal. Wi-Fi never goes down. I'm right there by ADP.
So you had everything.
I'm good.
Yeah, yeah.
But when that dude came and took it,
Oh. So
those things, like, how does that, like, to know that y'all responsible for that? This, a POTS line. You know, because I always, like, name a top, like, rates in the Navy that you have to have. IT is one of them. Yeoman, cooks, PSs, corpsmen. You know, that's probably my top 5 that you have to have. Because they all provide a service that you need.
right.
Everybody on the ships need that. Like, sure, I can throw you a couple of bullets, but just to mess around, but it ain't hitting on nothing. You know, like, if you're a corpsman, an IT, a PN, or PS, YN, you need it.
So Wi-Fi, we did, you know, Ford had it when I was out. So, you know, that is a MWR funded
Oh, wow.
Okay.
capability, right? It's managed by ADP,
Mm-hmm.
but that is bought by MWR.
Makes sense.
So for me, you know, I had the POTS lines, but when you grow up without having Wi-Fi,
Yeah, it's nothing for
it's
us.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the
Out
new
to
old
sea
guys.
for a month, too easy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But this younger generation cannot
Lose their
live
mind.
without their phones. So a lot of the suicidal ideations and all that, yeah, because of the communication is not there. So we had a lot of complaints, a lot of sit reps, and then once that
Sit reps.
that Wi-Fi got implemented,
I could see it.
yeah, that
I can see it.
We talking
that,
about Wi-Fi,
that number slowed down because they're able to FaceTime their
FaceTime, posts.
right.
It's like a blanket.
I was
It's a
shocked.
blanket.
Like I didn't really notice that. Like when the
they
Ike
really,
just came
they really
back,
be out here depressed.
the Ike was
I
out
see
there
it.
like posting stuff. I'm like, how are people doing that now?
Yeah.
They out here depressed.
You know, like I'm like, how people doing it? But I'm like,
crazy.
you know, I'm.
But it
still
almost
far
felt
behind.
wrong when we had it, like, because I was like able to FaceTime my husband or text.
Yeah, no, I wasn't. I
almost
wasn't wrong.
feels
Like, nah,
wrong.
I wanted.
felt
I'm with them.
wrong.
I'm with this new generation. Bring all that.
But it felt weird.
Bring
though.
all of that.
I
Yeah, it
see
was
what you
something.
mean.
It was new. Yeah, it was something new. Something that you wasn't
different.
used to.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then also my concern is, you can turn it on and off, but really is it off? Are you still emitting signals? How do you keep yourself safe?
Right.
Mm.
There's
Knowing where you at.
there's
The
no-
enemy knowing
Yeah,
where
there's
you
no,
are.
there's definitely no MCON when you start talking about Wi-Fi.
They be like,
Correct.
turn your location off
MCON
and
is
all this other
off.
stuff.
So
So you got to turn the location off and all that.
you have
That's
to
what they-
turn everything off, like,
Yeah.
and before.
Oh, really?
Sometimes you have to manage, like, if your interface isn't working, like where you manage your WAPs from a laptop, you got to turn them off all of them individually. You know how long that takes? You got 12, 13 around the ship. It's crazy. It's crazy. So you have to manage that well to not put yourself in danger. So, I understand the younger generation wanting that comms, but then also we out there to do a job.
Yeah, do the
That's it.
job. Yeah,
And-
yeah.
And not get blown up.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, that's crazy,
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I get it.
It's hard to detect them submarines.
Correct. But they don't have no Wi-Fi. I guarantee you.
So,
Yeah.
I want to kind of switch
come up
gears
with
here for a minute.
underwater
Like,
Wi-Fi yet.
so earlier we was talking about transitions and everything like that, right? And what I like about, it seems like you're working on your next transition, right? For those who don't know, she's very funny, right? We had our, epic, battles and everything via
He be roasting me.
Facebook and everything, but the comedic space, you're moving into that space now. I see you, I follow you, you know what I'm saying, or whatnot, and I find it very, very interesting. Something that a lot of people kind of, I'm not used to it, like just to go into that lane.
Right.
People want to grow up and be a whole bunch of different stuff,
Right.
but to be like, I want to be a comedian.
Right.
Like, where did that come from?
So going into the comedy lane, I always wanted to be an entertainer. So when I told my dad, like, hey, I want to be an entertainer, he was like, you better find something else. You ain't finna be out in here broke. Okay?
That's what we think, right?
Yeah.
So I ended up choosing the Navy because it was automatic security, right? Because I was without a plan. That's a good plan.
Safe
Without a
plan.
plan,
You safe.
right?
Yeah, you
It's
safe.
safe.
Yeah, you
It's a
safe.
good
Right.
starter plan.
Yeah.
So, but I could have just chose to move to LA and
Just
do that
jumped out
thing,
there.
But you never know what that's gonna end up because
Right.
I've been homeless too. You know what I'm saying? So. Cause you got to be good. You got to be
It's
real
expensive
funny
out
not to
there,
be
too. You got-
homeless.
right,
You got to be
right,
extra
right.
funny not to be
Yeah.
homeless. So
Yeah, especially out there.
yeah, so it like the artistic background and all that has always been internal. And then you being in your shop, my division, that's how you get people to do things. You roast them. You make them laugh.
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you, that was the easiest way to get sailors to do things. If they laugh,
They like to be around you.
Yeah.
because they know, oh, here come Kamo talking shit. You know what I'm saying? So I think that was an easy thing for me, being able to kind of maneuver with the younger sailors too.
Oh wow.
So
Okay.
it helped me,
Right.
to
To build a connection.
to build a connection. And so for my peers too, you in a mess, you cracking jokes.
Oh, that's what we do.
She's crazy.
Yeah.
She's crazy.
Yeah.
But
Right.
But yeah, I always wanted to do that, so I just said, when I leave this ship, my son's grown, because I had to focus on my career,
Right. Right.
take care of him, make sure he get to college, and then I could do what I want to do. So when it was time, I went through the Funny Bone School. They got a school. Shout out to Tim Lulis.
Oh wow.
He's the instructor over there. But I had to, make that decision. And I was like, I'm gonna figure out something. Everybody's like, oh, the general consensus is like, I'm gonna get a government job when I retire. Or I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
This is safe.
Right. It's safe.
When you say, I want to be an entertainer, I want to be a comedian. What? What you say? Are you even funny? You know, like
Yeah.
people ask those questions, and I was like, just because I'm not sitting here cracking jokes, I'm not a clown. You know, I'm
Yeah.
not cracking jokes with you, but you know what I'm saying? Because I don't even like you like that, but it's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but if you really know me,
Uh-huh.
you know how I am. So, but yeah, it was just I said I'm not going to live in a bubble anymore.
Yeah.
So this was something that you
Yeah.
always wanted to do, even before
Correct.
you came in the Navy.
Before I came to the Navy.
And 20-some years later, you finally had the opportunity. So how did you continue to, because most people, 20-some years is just like that desire kind of fade, you know what I'm saying? So how did you keep burning that and you know, keeping
Takes
that?
writing. You know, you write you off the top of the head, because you know, like we had a sneaker group, shout out to Keith Harris, but khakis and kicks, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you just we roast each other, and it's just always been like I can come off the top of the head with stuff, and I was like, maybe I can do this, you know what I'm saying? Because we all doubt ourselves if it's unconventional. We always do that, and everybody says, well, this is not the bubble, that this is outside of the box.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
So I just didn't want to do that no more. You know, I don't want to prepare to transition to retire to be a government employee. You know, now if I do that,
civilian combo.
right?
Yeah.
It sounds like Susan. You know, sounds like Susan. You know,
like I
went total
can't.
left.
Yeah.
Could have did that,
But I can see
I
that.
might do that initially though, just because I like money. You know what I'm saying? I like things. You know, going on vacation. That
Sue
might,
turning down 6 figures, like,
Because I got the credentials to do it. But
Right.
that's not what I want to do. Now, if I can find something remote and go rock that.
Now that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But you couldn't do that though in your field.
No, I can't. So from working from home, that's the reason. That was the reason why I was trying to do HR. I was like, HR might be the way to go. But no.
But yeah, I just always wanted to do it.
No.
Yeah.
So right now you're doing like both, you know, like you still got your active duty career, and you still doing, you know, your stand up, your roles, you know, performing. So how you manage all that?
So Navy, I'm a ultra assessor, so I do all the training assessments. So like CSTT,
Yeah.
I do all the CRTT, readiness training for shore stations. So so it's like, she, you know, people be like, she out in the streets playing. She don't take her job serious until I show up with that clipboard. Let's talk about it.
Oh, for real?
I ain't coming to, ain't no jokes on this
Ain't no
clipboard.
jokes. Ain't no jokes in this grading. I tried.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You
Like,
felt.
yeah. But I ain't no
That's a misconception.
It's two different professions.
Yeah.
And when it's business time, it's business time. So when I come and show up to these COs and XOs, come in, oh, she a comedian, blah, blah, blah. Yes, sir, but I am here to brief this ultra. Are we ready?
So right now you're an assessor, right? So it's not like you have a division, department, and all that type of stuff. So, but what if you did and you was doing what you're doing? How would you think that would?
It would probably be the same thing. It would probably be the same thing, you know. But if I'm back on the ship or something, you know, I get gigs when I can. You know?
Right.
So, but you know, I waited until I was totally in a position where, you know, I didn't have to jeopardize, you know, one thing for another.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying?
So it was just perfect timing.
It was
like,
perfect timing.
Okay.
So how does it? What type of pressure is that to have? Like, I went up here and I bombed. Like I didn't make nobody laugh.
I haven't.
Well, have you done?
Have you had that happen?
Okay, so in different rooms, in young rooms, no, I haven't bombed. I had one gig at a retirement home. So that's how I say this don't count. Had a retirement home, and the demographic was not like me.
Okay.
It was actually in Newport News, wealthy, retired.
Was it a party or did you?
No, it's like.
So what's the age group we talking about?
It was like 74 and up.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
you ain't had nothing to relate to them.
Nothing.
Like, how did you even get that gig? How did that happen?
Because people just call you. They were like, okay, you know. And then I looked at the room because it was in Newport News, so I was like, bet I got it.
Right.
Showed up, everybody colored them blinds, and I'm like, oh,
never mind.
Yeah.
You just saw Newport News.
We on that type of time today?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, so it was like crickets, and then I started talking about surgery, and the room erupted with laughter. I'm like, wait, hold up.
Okay.
But they found that funny. So
that's something they can relate to.
correct.
'Cause everybody in there has some surgery.
So it wasn't the best show, but it still ended up being okay.
Had to
You know what I'm
improvise.
saying? I had to improvise. I
Oh,
was
you
sweating.
still did it.
I was sweating. That was one time where I was like, "Oh, this ain't gonna go too well." Because
Wow.
I'm telling you, the sweater
you know what?
was
But
tied around the neck.
That takes a lot of courage to still do it, though.
Cashmere.
You know, it takes a lot of courage to still do it because you probably like, I ain't feeling this either. This ain't my thing. But
But I can't go
being
home.
in that lane, right? You done made it all the way this far. It's like, I just give it a shot.
You can't walk off the stage.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I got this time fulfillment I have to do.
They paying me.
That part,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
And I came all the way this way.
They paying me.
Yeah.
So-
That's another misconception. Like, how you're not that funny, blah. Because a lot of people don't know, because they don't understand that there's a separation of my brain. You know what I'm saying? And in a work professional environment, I'm not finna be ha, he,
Right.
because we don't work too hard to get here.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So I need them to take me seriously at work. But off time, it's crazy.
It's different
We
you.
clowning. We clowning. But yeah. Just if they paying you, people ain't gonna keep booking you if you're not funny.
Right.
That's true.
So
That's true.
And some of the the older headliners and the guys that's been doing it, they getting paid thousands, but 100 for 10 minutes, 15 minutes ain't bad either.
Nah.
You know.
So I follow
And you
you
working on your craft too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I
50
follow
bucks
you
for
on-
10 minutes.
For 10 months, yeah.
So I follow you on social media, and I've seen that you've come into contact with some well-known comedians and stuff like that, or whatever, right? So for you, I guess it's like two questions. How is it when you meet someone, that's been in the business for a while, that's a star, right? And who are some of your favorite stars, and have you met them or not?
So I've blessed, super blessed, been able to come across these guys. A lot of them have been so kind, so down to earth.
That's good.
So and then they also drop gems, as to what they've dealt with, and talking to some of the female comics. I was able to meet Takara Williams a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
If you're familiar with her, she does there's a lot of reels on Facebook and Instagram for her, but she dropped a lot of gems on how to navigate as a female, because it's a different beast when you're a female
Comedian, yeah.
And then I've Bill Bellamy and it's been a lot, so many.
Right.
Omar Gooden, I was able to open for him.
Okay.
Yeah, about 2 months ago. But these guys are just amazing, and it's just
To show love.
they show love.
Yeah,
It's not.
Yeah.
I did fan out. I ain't gonna lie. Well, internally, because you can't act like that. You can't act like that. It's like being in a room with Admiral Franchetti. If we're Master Chief's warrants, blah blah blah. It's like the big wigs. You know what I'm saying? Mick Pine.
I got you.
It's just like that.
Just like that.
It's a ranking order,
Okay.
right? So, but you can't lose your shit.
Yeah.
Right? So Bill
yeah.
Bellamy had a show one night, and I didn't know like him and Ali Sadiq were tight. So Ali Sadiq
Yeah, he
just
just was down in
walks
South Carolina. Ali Sadiq.
into the Funny Bone, and we're all sitting up there. All the other comics are congregating, and he just walks in. He's like, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "Me?"
Yeah.
Did he just shake my hand? Oh my god! Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh my god! And then I looked at the other comic. I was like, "Is that Ali Sadiq? What's that motherfucking Ali Sadiq?"
Yeah.
But then you got to keep it together. You can't do that. You can't do it. You have to just treat it as, like, in my mind, I treat it as like higher ranking officials.
Okay.
Period.
Oh, I see him, but I'm cool.
Yeah.
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 And
So,
So
yeah.
now, and I know, like, in this new age, because it's the Instagram guys, or the TikTok guys, that kind of makes them, viral or famous, and the next thing you know, they doing comic and stuff like that or whatever.
Right.
And for you, it's kind of like it's different. It's almost like you're going back old school, right?
Right.
I can't say that I've seen you post a lot of like
Content.
skits and stuff like that,
No.
trying to be funny. It's just like, next thing I know, like, boom, you out on the stage. Like you said, you went to the Funny Bone School.
Yeah.
So it's just like, do you get do you feel like you get more love and respect because, you know, you work in circuits as best as you can by still being active duty, you know what I mean? And you're not like a Instagram sensation, so to speak, type of thing.
And if they do choose that lane, then shout out to them. You know what I'm saying? Like this younger generation that is doing it that way is elevating their career fast.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know, some of those the internet content creators that are funny, you know, they may not be the best stand-up comedians, you know, but they also bring comedians that are good stand-ups on stage, on tour. You see what I'm saying?
I get what
so
you're saying.
they're putting people on.
Right.
They're selling tickets too.
At the same time.
Yeah, because I didn't even look at it that way, right? Because I'm really like, you know, breaking down processing what you just said. You know, like, okay, I done got my following, you know, on this Instagram or this TikTok, right? So my name gonna sell because I got so many views.
Right.
Let me bring these up and comings on. You know what I'm saying?
They're putting people on left and right because those people are, you know, they might be 13 years in the game.
Okay.
But they selling out shows. You know what I'm saying? So, and then also like the old school comedians, they bring, you know, their feature acts with them and. You know, like Bruce had Bryson Brown. He's from Texas, and he, you know, I had a show with him earlier that day, and he was like, "Hey, come to the Funny Bone. I'm over with Bruce tonight." You know, but yeah, those type of things is just like it's never a wrong answer. Like if they're new comedians, they're doing it a different way, and they're getting on. And then I just choose because I want that type of respect. That doesn't mean I'm not going to create content later. That just means not right now. Gotcha. It's not for me right now because of the position I'm in the Navy.
Tracking. Yeah.
I got you. If you had to make a decision to say like, well, what if you had to do something over again in your life, what would it be? What would it be? Because I mean, we done a lot of things and we say, wow, I wish I had to redo or do this over, do that over. Because it seems like your passion, like you sound like when I just listen to you talk about you being a comedian, it's like you feel that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Too. You feel that. You know, hopefully one day you can be that, you know, some more Kevin Hart level. You know what I'm saying? But like I follow certain rappers that I know should have been big time mainstream, but they just kept it like where they was at. They were good where they were at. You know, so and I think you probably feel that same way. Like I just do it for the fun of it. You know what I'm saying? But if it was something that you had to, you know, say, you know what, if I had a second chance of redoing my life, what would it be?
I know I wouldn't be here like this successful, but I would have went to LA.
Went to LA.
I would have went to LA. Because there's people that went to school with me that went to LA and they're on Tyler Perry's House of Pain. They're on Matlock now. Like those are the things. And shout out to them because, you know, it takes a lot of dedication to do that for 20 plus years and a lot of doors closed and a lot of no's and they're successful now. So I think I would have navigated to my dream as opposed to what was safe because maybe it would have been safe later. Who knows?
But see,
but I'm gonna tell you something. I know where he's gonna go. I'm gonna get you before you get there. Him and I always had this conversation about doing 20 years versus 30 years. And I always say, man, if I had to do it all over again, I would go back and just do 20. And he said, well, your calling wasn't 20.
Right.
It was 30.
Yep.
You know, he said, yeah, sure, you probably would, I'm sure you would have done some things differently, but your calling was to do what you do, still sitting here at 24. You know, because you would have got what you would have got probably going out to LA. But it's a tough time going out to LA. And I only know that because my brother was an actor living in LA. He went to NYU, then he went out to LA, and he would tell me some things. Yeah, he would tell me, this is like the 90s. So he would tell me some things, but you were supposed to be here.
Right.
You know, so he always tell me, he say, man, but sure, you could have did 20 and got out and did whatever, but you had to do that so me and you can meet.
Right.
And do what we doing right now. So,
but
I always want to go get him like a go back with him. But when he started talking, I'm like, all right, he probably right.
No regrets though.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's no regrets.
Because my son's going to college.
See?
For free.
See?
And see,
You know what I'm saying?
And for free is for me.
Yeah.
And another thing I want to say too is that, you know, I commend you for just keeping that dream alive.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? For
Yeah.
all these years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because like I said earlier, most people like, I'm not on that no more. You know what I'm saying? But you kept it. And now you giving it attention. You know what I'm saying? You giving it space in your life. So, you know, hats off for that. You know what I mean? So before we get out of here, what's next? Where can they find you? Where can they come see you at? When is the next show? Like give it to us.
I'm hosting like a happy hour spot, Kiss My Grits. It's in Chesapeake.
Okay.
That is on the 8th. I have a show in Richmond.
Okay.
8th of
On the 9th.
Okay.
It's a Veterans Day show.
Okay.
Mike J. At Trio Restaurant and Lounge. Yeah, it usually sells out. I did a Mother's Day one like last Mother's Day. And it was crazy. So that's a nice spot. So I'll be doing that. And I actually have a private event for the Kappas and Divine Nine folks in the area, the chapters in the area, and that's going to be on the 14th of December.
14th of December.
But that's I know that's a private event, but for that platform, that's huge.
It's good.
Especially for you know, HBCU Divine Nine folks.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, just you can follow me at Kells the Great, all one word, all social media platforms.
Okay.
And yeah, pull up, no pressure.
No pressure.
Okay.
But come get these jokes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. And you know, she's an avid shoe collector, and y'all, you know, part of the khakis and kicks, you know. She used to do this prayer. I'm not gonna put her on the spot right now and ask for a prayer, but if you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? So we need another one in the group. You need to drop us a prayer.
Father God, come to you today to stretch out your hand of mercy and just, you know, grant these ribs to be closed up for Brother Alquin.
Okay. He said these ribs will be closed down.
Why she do me like that?
Yeah.
All right, hey, thanks for coming through. I appreciate you. You know, much love and respect to you,
Appreciate
sister.
y'all.
Good looking
Great to
out.
meet you.
Yeah,
Y'all.
yeah.
Nice to meet y'all.
At ease, we out.